Hello and welcome to InThisCornerTV.com. I'm James Smith at Mandalay Bay, where Amir Khan prepares for his fight on Saturday night against Danny Garcia. Of course, this was supposed to be the rematch with Lamont Peterson, who tested positive for steroids. Out Peterson, in Garcia. Amir predicts a knockout. Last time we were with you, it was instead of Mr. Smith going to Washington, it was Mr. Khan going to Washington, and you found out about the politics in Washington, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of politics going on there, but I never thought it's going to come into sport. And it did come into sport where, I think I was treated not right. I was, I was cheated in a way in the fight. But then, look what happens. I mean, there's no one bigger than God, and God proved it to me that Lamont Peterson was a cheat in that fight by him getting caught out being positive when he got drug tested for the rematch. So when I didn't really want to go back there, after for the rematch press conference, but I went there for the respecting the media and everybody. And when I went there, everybody I spoke to said, "You won that first fight." I remember walking through the hotels and the streets of Washington after, and the people saying to me, "Oh, you got robbed. You won that fight and you didn't get it." Now, it made me think I really did win that fight, and I believe I won that fight, but I just didn't get it. But then when the rematch happened, we did a random testing for that fight. And he was caught that he was taking testosterone and steroids or whatever it was, and now I've been reinstated as world champion. We had to change the training camp all over again because it was a long camp against Lamont Peterson. I trained for 12 weeks and then I got the call that he is now not able to fight because he's failed the test. So then we had to kind of find a new opponent, and we found Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia just had a great win off Erik Morales. So I said, yeah, I'll take that fight. And now on that fight, we've got the WBC title that he holds, we've got the WBA title that I hold, and we've got the ring title on top of that, which makes it an even bigger fight because the ring title is something I've always wanted to win, and I never fought for it ever before. So it gives me the chance to kind of clean up this division and show who the best is in this division.
Well, let's go back to that fight. I thought you won the fight. I thought the referee did a horrible job of taking the points away for pushing, I believe it was. And to Peterson's credit, I thought he fought about as good as I've ever seen him fight. One thing, though, in just critiquing your performance, and I still say we haven't seen the best Amir Khan, no. I still think you're making some fights more difficult on yourself than you need to.
Too much heart, I think. I think I'm showing too much heart and sometimes fighting for the fans and stuff. I think I need to start, what that Lamont Peterson fight did to me made me realize I have to listen to my trainer. I have to focus. I have to, go back to the drawing board and do what I do right and do what I do best, really. Why to fight for the crowd? So I'm going to go in there now and box and stick to my game plan, and it's going to make fights a lot easier for me. I mean, look at the best fighters out there, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. They make it look so easy because they listen to instructions, they stick to their game plan. I sometimes try making it exciting by getting into a war. I don't have to get into a war. If I just stick to my boxing, which I am good at, I'll walk through fights.
When you have the most important punch in boxing going for you, like you do, and that's the jab, you throw it as good as anybody in the game. That's your ticket.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and that's what we've been working on. It was a wake-up call for me against Lamont Peterson.
What I found in the Peterson fight is when he bounces like that, if a guy is aggressive and knocks you off balance, he's going to put you on the ropes a lot easier. So I'm trying to get him more settled down and more flat to the floor and making steps instead of jumping. So it's been working really well, and his punching power is much better when he's just making those steps and setting himself. So I think that we're going to set traps for this Garcia guy, and I think we'll knock him out.
In terms of his jab, because I always preach about, I think it's the most important punch in boxing and so underutilized. Where do you rate his jab in the game today?
When he wants to use it correctly, it's probably the best. And then sometimes he'll get a little bit lazy with it, then I just have to remind him not to do that. Because the lazy jab, he leaves room for counter punches. So when he's got that jab going, no one can touch him, and that's going to be the key to this victory here on Saturday night.
What's your thoughts on Saturday night?
It's going to be a tough fight, don't get me wrong, because Danny Garcia is very experienced. Well, not very experienced, but he's very tough. He's young, he's hungry. The thing is, what's going to win us this fight is my experience. He's younger, maybe, I think he lacks that experience. He's been in with some big names like Erik Morales, but Erik Morales is over the hill. I mean, he's fighting Amir Khan now, who's in his who's getting towards his peak and not past his best. So I think it's going to be an exciting fight. I believe I'll win this fight. I'll stick to my boxing. I'll be smart, and we will win the world titles back and be reinstated the new ring champion as well.
In fact, look right into that camera and tell your fans what's going to happen on Saturday night.
Come Saturday night, I will be the new WBC champion, and still the WBA super champion and the new ring champion as well. So, it's going to be a great night. Make sure you don't miss it. It's going to be live, and it's going to be an explosive fight.